Hi, it's Dawn from Knitch Bunny Crochet. Today I have for us to do this ice cream cozy. This keeps your hands from getting freezing while you're eating your ice cream. Now this fits a standard pint size ice cream container. Now if you have one that's a little bit smaller, like this one right here is a 14-ounce container. It's a little bit smaller, but it'll still fit nicely inside the cozy. Just like that. So let's drop the camera down and I'll talk about the yarn and the hook and anything else that you might need to make this ice cream cozy. The yarn I used is Lily's Sugar and Cream. This is a medium 4 worsted weight yarn. It is 100% cotton. It comes in a 2.5 ounce ball or 70.5 excuse me, 70.9 grams, 120 yards, 109 meters. One ball will make 2 cozies. This is what I had left out of the first, when I got done with the first cozy. This color right here is called Soft Violet. The color that we're going to be using today is called Light Blue. The hook size is a G or a 4.0 millimeter hook. You'll need a pair of scissors. A stitch marker will be helpful. And a yarn needle to weave in your ends. Once you have all of your supplies, let's get started. Before I jump into today's tutorial, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that little icon right down there in the corner. That'll automatically subscribe you to my channel. And while you're down there, don't forget to ring that bell. That'll notify you whenever I upload a new video. And if you like content like this, please give it a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like my videos. It also helps me gauge what type of content you like to see on my channel. Now for today's tutorial, we're going to start with a magic ring. If you're unfamiliar with the magic ring, I will put a link down in the description box to my tutorial on how to make the magic ring. You can also do a chain of 4, slip stitch to the very first chain, and that will form a ring. And you can put your first round all into the center of that ring to start your cozy. So for today, I'm going to start with a magic ring. Again, the description, in the description box, I will put a link to my tutorial on how to make a magic ring if you're unfamiliar with making a magic ring and you'd like to learn. Chain 1, and we're going to put 10 half double crochets into the center of the ring. The first one's always the most difficult one when you're using a magic ring. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 10. Now go ahead and pull your tail, close up your magic ring, or pull your tail and tighten up your circle if you're using the chain 4 method. Count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and slip stitch to that first half double crochet that you made. The chain in the beginning did not count as a stitch. Tighten that up, that center, so we don't have too big of a circle. Now to start round 2, we're going to chain 1 and right back into that same stitch, that very first stitch. Put 2 half double crochets. So it's going to be tight because you're putting 2 stitches into 1. So 1, 2. Now you may want to put your stitch marker into that first stitch at this point right now. It's up to you, but I like to put my stitch marker in there. And you're going to put 2 half double crochets into each stitch all the way around. So 1, 2, and 1. Whoops, don't split your yarn. 1 and 2. And you're just going to continue putting 2 half double crochets into every stitch all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 2. We have 20 stitches. We're going to go ahead and take that stitch marker out, and we're going to slip stitch to that first half double crochet that we made. And let me just pop out my hook here, pop that stitch marker in. This is going to be a good time to flip over our piece and weave our tail in. So grab up your yarn needle and go ahead and weave in your tail, which will also close, make sure your magic ring does not come undone. So I like to go under a few stitches and go, not wrap it around the stitch marker, that's for sure. Go in a couple of different directions. I like to go around that hole at least once and then go back, just to make sure it's not going to open up. So like that. And then I'm going to go back over a couple of stitches. Because sometimes the magic ring can reopen. So I just like to, when I weave in that tail, just make sure it doesn't come back open, just like that. And then we can snip off the tail. Where did my scissors go? Oh, there they are. And then we can start round 3. So let's put our hook back in. I'm going to chain up 1. And in that very same stitch that we just slip stitched into, we're going to go ahead and put in a half double crochet. And I like to put my stitch marker in that very first stitch. Again, that is optional. In the very next stitch, we're going to put 2 half double crochets. Next stitch, 1 half double crochet. And in the next stitch, 2 half double crochets. Let's pull a little yarn out here. And that's going to be the repeat all the way around. 1 half double, 2 half doubles. 1 half double, 2 half doubles. So continue that all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 3. We now have 30 half double crochet. We're going to go ahead and take that stitch marker out and slip stitch to the first half double crochet that we made. To start round 4, chain 1, and we're going to put a half double crochet right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into. And go ahead and put our stitch marker back into that stitch. And half double crochet into the next stitch. And 2 half double crochets into the next. One half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and 2 half double crochets into the next. 1, 2, 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and 2 half double crochets into the next, 1 and 2. Please repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 4. We now have 40 stitches, 40 half double crochet. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the first stitch that we made. We're going to go into the back loop only and slip stitch. So just go right into that back loop and slip stitch. To start round 5, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put a single crochet into the back loop only of that stitch that we just slip stitched into. Go ahead and replace our stitch marker. And we're going to put a single crochet into the back loop only of every stitch around. And just remember that these are your front loops and these are your back loops. So we're going into just the back loops, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Just go right into that back loop only and single crochet. So continue working your single crochets in the back loop only, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 5. We have 40 single crochet. We're going to take out our stitch marker and slip stitch to that first single crochet. We're going to go through both loops this time. To start round 6, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. This chain 3 will count as a double crochet, so it's going to count as our first stitch. So we're going to go ahead and put the stitch marker in that top chain. In the very next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet, and we're going to do a double crochet in every stitch around. I'm going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch. I will meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 6. We have 40 double crochet. We're going to slip stitch to the top of that the top of the chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet. To start round 7, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. That counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to go ahead and mark that as our first stitch. Make sure we don't split the yarn. Our first stitch is right here. This one right here, we're going to be working in the post stitch, the post of the stitch. We're going to do a front post double crochet, so we yarn over, enter from the front, and come around the post, coming out the front. Yarn over and pull through. And complete the double crochet. The next stitch, this post right here, we're going to do a back post double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to be entering from the back and going out the back. Pull up a loop and complete the double crochet. Next, front post double crochet. So enter from the front, come out the front, and complete the double crochet. It's almost like you're how you do the ribbing on a sweater. So we're going to go back post, Then next stitch is front post. Next stitch is back post. Then the next stitch is front post. We're going to do that pattern all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 7. We still have 40 stitches. We're going to take out our stitch marker and slip stitch to the top of the chain, which is our first stitch. To start round 8, we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, replace our stitch marker, and to start round 8, we're not going to start with a front post, we're going to start with a back post. So basically we're going to be doing the opposite stitches every other row. So if this is a front post, we're going to do a back post. So we're going to go around the back and come out the back and do a back post. Since this is a back post, we're going to do a front post. Double crochet. Front post double crochet, we're going to do a back post double crochet. This is the back post. We're going to do a front post in that one. So front post double crochet. Next one, we're going to do a back post double crochet. So whatever stitch is next, you just do the opposite. So here we have a back post. We're going to do a front post in it. Here we have a front post. We're going to do a back post. Next stitch is a back post. We're going to do a front post. And you're just going to keep repeating that all the way around to get back to the beginning. Again, front post, back post. Next stitch is a back post, do a front post. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 8. We still have 40 stitches. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of the chain, not the turning chain, just the top of the chain, which is our first stitch. Now for rounds 9 through 12, we're just going to keep repeating round 7 and 8. So just repeat 7, 8, 7, 8, and that's going to be 2 times. So you're going to go 7, 8, 7, 8, and that'll be for rounds 9 through 12. So I'll start you off on round 9. So we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is going to be a repeat of round 7. So we're going to go ahead and put our stitch marker in, and we're going to start with a front post double crochet because we see our back post right there. So start off with our front post. The next stitch will be a back post. Next stitch is a front post. Next stitch is a back post. Next stitch is a front post. And you're going to continue that all the way around. And that'll complete round 9. Then you're going to do 10, 11, and 12, repeating the pattern. And I'll meet back up with you at the end of round 12. We're at the end of round 12. We still have 40 stitches. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of the turning chain, or top of our first stitch. For round 13, we're going to go ahead and repeat round 7 one more time. So that's chain up 3, put your stitch marker in there, and start with your front post, double crochet, and then your back post. Same thing you have been doing all along. We're just going to repeat that round 7 one more time for round 13, and I will meet back up with you at the end of round 13. We're at the end of round 13. We still have 40 stitches. We're going to go ahead and take our stitch marker out and slip stitch to the top of that first stitch, which is that chain. To start round 14, we're going to chain 1, does not count as a stitch, and we're going to half double crochet right back into that same stitch. So it might be a little bit tight because it's the chain. So we're going to go ahead and mark that stitch as our first stitch. And we're going to put 1 half double crochet into the top of each stitch. So we should have 40 stitches when we get back around. And just continue putting 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. And I will meet back up with you at the end of the round. We're at the end of round 14. We still have 40 stitches. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch to that first half double crochet that we made, and we're going to go ahead and fasten off. So all we have to do is just weave in our tail, but for right now I'm just going to tuck it inside, and let's just put our stitch marker and stuff away. Back down our camera and slip in our pint. There we go. And we have our finished cozy. So here's the purple one, and here is the blue. So if you've liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell. Thanks for watching, and happy crocheting! Bye-bye!